Go Mouse Scouts, episode 133.
You're listening to Go Mouse Scouts, where we're dedicated to helping you and your kids have a great time at the Disney parks. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, my name is Kris.
And I'm Megan.
And this episode, we are talking about feeding your picky kids. Which we have some picky kids, right?
Maybe you're lucky and your kids aren't picky.
Mm-hmm.
But we have one kid who we can find something to eat for anywhere we go. One kid who, for the most part, eats pretty much whatever we put in front of him when he does eat, because he's a toddler, and of course sometimes that means he doesn't eat. And one kid who subsists off of chicken nuggets when we're out of the house.
Yeah, and the first kid that we mentioned, I'm trying to figure out how I can make a puzzle out of this. So, like, the puzzles that you try to solve where, like...
My logic puzzles?
Yeah, like, Mike likes to eat chicken nuggets, and he drives a red car. And Stan doesn't drive a blue car, but his friend likes pizza. And with that, you need to figure out what Susie likes to eat. And whether or not her car is a manual or an automatic transmission, right?
Right.
I'm just kind of flying off the wall here.
Feeding the kids can seem like a logic puzzle.
Yeah. And it's funny because Teddy, who's our second youngest now at this point, I kind of have a feeling he's going to be like a little bit of a foodie. You know, he always likes to try different things. So if I'm eating something a little different, he'll always come up and want to, have a little taste of it.
He's almost 3, and he's the one who pretty much will eat anything we put in front of him, except that, sometimes he just doesn't eat. So I can't tell you how many times we have not bought him food expecting, he'll just eat a few things off of other people's plates. And he ends up being hungry enough that we wish that we had bought him food. And then on the flip side, how many times we've bought him food and he's eaten like 2 bites and been like, done. Yeah,
you never know if they're going to eat 2 bites or leave 2 bites.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with him. So we're going to kind of go over, where you can find some of your kids' favorite foods. And this is actually kind of taken right out of our book. So if you like what you hear in this podcast episode, you might consider checking out our book. And we'll let you guys know where to find that at the end of the episode. So let's, I guess, start off with giving, just some general random tips, useful, but, tips on eating at Disneyland.
Well, we've talked before about sticking with your kid's schedule, and that can be tricky when it comes to, eating time, because of course, everybody tends to eat meals at about the same time. So, if your kid usually eats lunch at noon, you don't want to wait until noon to go get in line for lunch, because that's when everybody else in the park is also going to be eating lunch. So you kind of have to balance. At least our kids eat earlier generally because they get up at the crack of dawn. So they usually have lunch around 11, which makes it easier for us to try and manage meal times. But certainly if you can eat your meals at a time, that's off from when, typically people eat meals, like you don't want to, you want to try and avoid the restaurants at noon. You want to try and avoid the restaurants at 5 or 6, because that's just when everybody's going to be eating. Yeah,
that's true. And the other thing is, the sizes of the kids' meals are kind of small.
They're smaller than you would expect to get at, like a fast food place, like McDonald's. You're going to get less food. In some cases, a lot less food.
Yeah.
So if your kid doesn't eat that much, then, you'll be fine. But, Jenny, she's 8 now, and she's got a big appetite, and she's outgrown the kids' meals there. She does not generally get enough to eat from a kid's meal at Disneyland. She is starting to outgrow the kids' meals at other places that we go as well. When we're not at Disneyland. And so we're kind of reaching that balancing point with her where we have to know how much food is going to be provided at a restaurant when we go. Is it going to be enough for her? Is it not going to be enough for her?
Yeah.
We recently ate at the River Belle Terrace for their Fantasmic dinner package. And she chose the macaroni and cheese, which I knew was going to be a small portion anyway. And so...
But thankfully, Teddy only took 2 bites of
Right,
his.
right. This was one of the times where Teddy did not eat. And they
Yeah.
also, because it was the package, they also provided, there was the celery and carrot sticks to begin with, which she ate and the boys didn't really. So we were able to cobble together enough food for her to get enough to eat. But, you might not be able to do that if, you're all getting meals that are, just enough for everybody. Or so you might need to consider, that your 8 or 9-year-old or even 7-year-old maybe is going to need an adult size meal and not the kid size meal.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this episode. But so when you're talking about like picky kids and stuff, I mean, what are some of the quote unquote staples that you see? I mean, you see like pizza and chicken nuggets and corn dogs or whatever,
burgers, yeah.
So we're going to kind of go through where you can find these certain items around Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. And we've actually split this up between foods. And so we'll start with burgers, and you and I will kind of switch off on this. So burgers you can find at Disneyland. You can find at the Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland, at Hungry Bear Restaurant in Critter Country at Disneyland, and Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland at Disneyland Park. And then at Disney California Adventure, you can find burgers at Smoke Jumper's Grill.
Pizza for kids can be found at California Adventure at the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, and at Disneyland which is at Paradise Pier, and at Disneyland at Daisy's Diner in Mickey's Toontown, at Red Rocket's Pizza Port in Tomorrowland, and Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland.
Chicken nuggets you can find at Galactic Grill, Tomorrowland, Disneyland, Golden Horseshoe, Frontierland, Disneyland, Hungry Bear Restaurant, Critter Country, Disneyland, Smoke Jumper's Grill, Grizzly Peak in California Adventure, and the Stage Door Cafe in Frontierland at Disneyland. So kind of jumped parks twice on that one.
All right. And then we have, that's because we put them in alphabetical order.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then they used to have peanut butter and jelly because some kids, they only eat sandwiches. But I'm assuming because of, allergies and stuff, at some point over the last 8 years, because I'm not sure exactly when they switched to turkey sandwiches. So you can get turkey sandwiches at Flo's V8 Cafe in Carsland at California Adventure, the Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland at Disneyland, the Jolly Holiday Bakery on Main Street, the Pacific Wharf Cafe in the Pacific Wharf at California Adventure, Pluto's Doghouse in Mickey's Toontown at Disneyland, and the Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland. And then they also have this power pack thing that a lot of the places have. And this is also good for like snacks that you can, give to multiple people in your group. The power pack consists of yogurt, sliced apples, carrots, a banana, and whole grain goldfish crackers.
So you get all of that?
You get all of that.
Okay.
In addition to, a drink, because kids' meals do come with drinks. At Disneyland, these can be found at the Harbor Galley in Critter Country, Hungry Bear Restaurant in Critter Country, Troubadour Tavern in Fantasyland, Clarabelle's in Mickey's Toontown, Golden Horseshoe in Frontierland, Stage Door Cafe also in Frontierland, Coca-Cola Refreshment Corner on Main Street, Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland, and at California Adventure at the Smoke Jumpers Grill on Grizzly Peak, Award Wieners, Hollywoodland, and Pacific Wharf Cafe in the Pacific Wharf. There's also toddler size meals. These are really only going to be good for your 1-year-olds.
Okay.
Seriously, the little cup of macaroni and cheese that it comes with is, you seriously are getting about a half a cup of macaroni and cheese, size wise.
Is there anything else that comes with
it comes
meals?
with, I want to say it comes with like sliced apples or something.
Okay.
So you get a drink, which is like a bottle of milk or a juice box or a small water bottle. And then you get this little tiny cup of macaroni and cheese, or, there's a couple of other things.
You want me to read
two
these,
places have arroz con pollo, which is rice and chicken.
Arroz con pollo.
And one has arroz con frijoles, rice and beans.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the Mexican place. Surprise, surprise. But I mean, really, if you have a 2-year-old, you're going to want to bypass that and just go with the kids' meals, because it is just such a minuscule amount of food. So toddler meals can be found at Disneyland, at the Hungry Bear restaurant in Critter Country. They have macaroni and cheese. Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland also has macaroni and cheese. The Rancho del Zocalo in Frontierland has arroz con pollo, which is rice and chicken, and arroz con frijoles, which is rice and beans. Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland has macaroni and cheese. Red Rocket's Pizza Port in Tomorrowland has macaroni and cheese. And Pluto's Doghouse in Toontown has macaroni and cheese. And then over at California Adventure, you've got the Smoke Jumpers Grill in Grizzly Peak, which has macaroni and cheese. Cochina Cucamonga Mexican Grill in Pacific Wharf, which has arroz con pollo, which again is rice and chicken. The Pacific Wharf Cafe on the Pacific Wharf has macaroni and cheese. And Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta on Paradise Pier has macaroni and cheese. Now, these are just the staples here. There's many other dishes that are offered at many other restaurants, and we have all that listed in our book as well. Anything from burritos and tacos to spaghetti and meatballs to chicken and rice. So, I mean, there's lots of different other things that are offered at some of the restaurants as well. But those are kind of the staples. Like if your kid only eats pizza, now you know where to go for pizza.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Real quick, I wanted to mention, we did mention the, the Rose Tavern. And if you guys haven't been to Disneyland in a while, that is, kind of an overlay that they put on Pinocchio's Village House. So that's where you'll find the Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland. Let's see here. I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything. I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a moment.
Why?
Well, unless, did you have a...
Yeah. Another thing is, if you have kids that don't want to eat off the menu, if you have, you can always ask to get an adult meal. You can split it between 2 kids. We have not tried this ourselves, but I've heard other people say that they can get, you can get an extra bun. So if you get a double cheeseburger and you get an extra bun, you can split that and make 2 cheeseburgers out of it. If you have a kid, that eats basically cheese sandwiches, you can get bread and an extra slice of cheese, or, bun and an extra slice of cheese, and put together your own sandwich. And it tends to be fairly inexpensive. Yeah.
Bottom line is that, at Disneyland, they really do try to cater to you. And so if you have a special request, don't hesitate to ask the cast members, at the cash registers, before you order. And if you guys have any kind of food allergies or special, dietary requirements, absolutely bring that up. I know I've heard of, oftentimes that they'll have, the chef come out and talk to you to make sure that they know what they need to do in order to accommodate, your special needs.
Now that's likely to happen at a table service place, but not at a counter service place, because they're very limited on what they're, cooking in the kitchen at each of the counter service places. But, certainly ask, what do you have that'll be safe for this? Or, I believe they may even have online some allergy guides, or you can, contact them ahead of time about, these are my requirements for, what I am allowed to eat. Where are the best places for me to go? Yeah. Yeah. And they are happy to try and help you out and make things work for you.
Absolutely. And, when you're booking your trip, whether you're booking it, straight through Disney, or if you're going through a travel agency, bring that up and let them know. In fact, this is kind of a good time for us to bring up that we have kind of teamed up with a travel agency called Gold Gel Getaways. So if you guys are planning a Disney vacation, or even not a Disney vacation, you can request a free quote directly from our website if you go to gomousescouts.com/quote. So, and that's, one of the ways that you could also help to support the show as well. So, I did mention to you guys at the top of the show that, I'd let you guys know where you can get our book as well, because we pretty much took the information from our book for this episode. We have, the exhaustive list of where you can find all of these, kid food staples and different ideas, and where you can find other kinds of food as well. And you can find our book at gomousescouts.com/Disneyland book. Other than that, thank you guys so much for listening. We'd love to have you guys come join us at our Facebook group. So, look for us there. On Facebook, it's the Go Mouse Scouts. What is it? Visiting Disneyland and Walt Disney World with kids. But it has Go Mouse Scouts in the name. You can find that at our website as well. And if you have any questions that you would like us to cover on our show, we'd love to hear from you guys. You can email us, fun@gomousescouts.com. And if you guys really enjoy what we're doing with our show, our park tips, our episodes with Kit when he comes in, and we've been doing some bonus episodes as well. One of the biggest ways you can help our show is to tell a friend. So feel free to do that. And if you want to be ambitious, leave us a rating and review in the iTunes, the Apple Podcast directory as well. But you know what? We're just happy to have you guys with us. Come join us in our group, and we would love to hang out with you. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
Disney 98. Papa,